If you know me, you know I love bowling and enjoy watching anime. In 2023, a new anime was announced and it looked like it was made for me. For the first time ever, we are finally going to get a bowling anime. And looking at the webpage for it, I could see it going either of two ways. It could be like a nice slice of life relaxing kind of anime or a more serious sports anime. Either way, I was really excited for it. A whole year passes. I'm still excited for this show, and we finally get the first preview for it. And it looks pretty promising. They show some of the characters bowling, and it looks like they actually understand bowling, and they're doing things correctly with the bowling aspects of the show. And at this point, my excitement for the show is at its absolute peak. Another year passes, and the first full trailer is released, and it's fine, I guess. We're introduced to two of the characters. The first one is Rina, who's just bringing down everybody and complaining about the team because they didn't win, while we also have Mai, who is cheering on the team for doing their best. And it's just like, Mai is a great teammate. She understands what a team sport is, and to be a good teammate, you need to elevate those around you. Well, Rina just doesn't. At this point, I'm assuming the show will be more of like a sports drama with Rina maybe learning to be a team player, and then maybe they'll go on to win a bowling tournament because they show them winning a bowling tournament. Either way, I'm still excited for the show because bowling! They show more bowling, and it looks even better in this trailer than it did in the preview. After 2 years of waiting, we finally get the first episode for the show, and to be honest, I'm a little bit shocked that it actually did come out, because leading up to this, they didn't have a lot of information about the show up online. I was thinking maybe it's actually going to get canceled or something like that. I wish they would have, but it came out finally. We have the first episode. It seems promising at the start. We open up the show where they're at a bowling tournament, and just like the preview, Rina is mad at Mai because they didn't do good at bowling and they whiffed to spare. The whole interaction is basically just Rina tearing down all the team and hating everybody. And then they quit on the team, but you know what, Mai, they're just a great teammate. They're like, no, we gotta bring this team back together. We're gonna run it back and we gotta actually win this thing. So what ends up happening is Mai challenges Rina and says, if I beat you, you join the bowling team again. And that seems like a promising premise so far. Okay, they're going to get the bowling team back together. They're going to do some bowling, right? No, they're not going to do that. You know what's actually going to happen? Instead, this. Yeah, so apparently some magic nonsense occurs, and out of nowhere, the characters are now teleported back 500 years in the past. And at this point, everything falls apart. The official website for the show has been completely changed. Instead of looking like a bowling anime, it now looks like a generic action anime, where everything's on fire. But at least some of the characters are holding a bowling ball, I guess. And they also have a new trailer for episode 2, and that trailer makes me lose all of my excitement that I've had for the past 2 years. Because they make it clear as day, this is not going to be a bowling anime. This is not the show that we promised you. This is not the show that felt like it was made specifically for you. Instead, it's a generic time travel show where the whole story is just the characters need to get back to their time. But maybe, if we're feeling generous, we might throw some references in the bowling in there for you guys. And this really was absolutely out of nowhere. Up until this point, everything about this show made it look like it was going to actually be about bowling. It was going to be the very first anime focused on bowling. But they threw that all away with a giant bait and switch, so now we just have the 100th anime about time travel. And at this point, I am really worried I'm going to absolutely hate this show, but I got to give it a chance because I love bowling. And as I said, there are no other anime out there that focuses on bowling. So what happens in episode 2? Well, we start off with a beheading. And then we have people who are trying to rape and kill the main characters. Yeah, things have really fallen apart really fast. Luckily for the bowling team, a new character comes by and they are able to save them. Unfortunately, in doing so, they themselves are captured, and the bowling team wants to thank them for saving them, so their goal is to now save them. How do they do this? One of the characters throws a bowling ball, and it kills 2 people. I don't know what kind of emotions I'm expected to feel when I'm watching this scene. It is so absurd. A single bowling ball that is thrown that hits people in the head somehow after rolling on the ground. Am I supposed to be laughing at the absurdity? Am I supposed to be cheering on the action? I legitimately have no idea what they were going for this scene right here. It just is baffling to me. And as an experienced bowler, I could throw the bowling ball pretty hard. I could probably get about 30 miles per hour off of my hand if all I'm doing is going for raw speed. And if I do that, I'm still not going to kill somebody, let alone somehow hit them in their head after the ball has been rolling on the ground. So, yeah, it's absurd. But either way, they managed to save them. They are now introduced. Their name is Skiri. And as a thank you for thanking them, or whatever we're at this point, they say they can go and stay with them since they don't have a place to stay. Cool. That's the end of episode 2. And at this point, I really should just drop the show and stop watching it. But there's this little voice in the back of my head that says, but what if the show is just clickbaiting you and halfway through the season, it's going to turn into a normal bowling anime like they promised? So I watched episode 3 and 4, which is the latest episode as of me recording this video. And in those episodes, the bowlers act like complete dumbasses, making it as obvious as possible that they're time travelers. And another character there just goes, more time travelers, because apparently this is just a common occurrence there. And then, this is where things actually get amazing. With the help of the town, they build a bowling alley and recreate the exact scenario that caused them to get sucked in the past to bring them back into the future. And I'm cheering this part on. Like, this show is so evil that you have to be happy when it actually does what it promised for the 2 years leading up to it. But they're actually doing bowling for a little bit, and they're actually time traveling again, and they're gonna go back to their time, and it's gonna get back on track, and it's actually gonna be a good show maybe. And then Rena ruins everything. I hate Rena. I hate them. For some reason, they just don't go with everybody else to get back into their time. And you can say, oh, it's because the fiery bush landed in front of them. But everybody else was already grouped together, being lifted into the air when the bush fell. They're just being dramatic, like, oh, my life is so bad back home. I'm just gonna stay here, guys, okay? So instead of the show getting back on track, the other characters are like, oh, we can't leave her behind. So we're now, again, stuck in the past. Like, this show double clickbaited me. Like, okay, the first time it was like, oh my god, they went back to the past. But then it's like, okay, they're going back to their time. It's going back on track. The show has a chance. No, it actually doesn't. I was wrong. And at this point, I'm just done with the show. It went from an anime that looked like it was specifically designed for me and my interests. Like, there was no anime out there that I was more excited for than this show, because it was literally like, what if I was making an anime? What would it be like? And it's like, that's it. But it's not it. It's not what I was hyped up to be. It's not about bowling at all. Just giant bait and switch to make me angry and disappointed. And I don't think I'm alone in my hatred for the show. Like, I don't think anybody really is enjoying it that much. It's frustrating, and I have nothing else to say. Will I watch the rest of the show? I think at this point I'm finally dropping it, but I'm sad. The very first anime about bowling isn't even about bowling. Maybe someday in the future we'll actually have a real one. Until then, we have this.